You know that feeling sometimes when you're indoors and the air just feels a bit off?
Yeah, scale almost.
Exactly, stale. And you can't quite put your finger on it, but it makes you think, how clean is the air I'm actually breathing in here? Especially since we spend, like 90% of our time inside buildings.
It's a really, really valid point. We clean surfaces we can see, but the air itself and the systems that move it,
Yeah.
well, that's often invisible, isn't it?
Totally. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We've got some material basically outlining a presentation on robotic HVAC duct cleaning. And it frames it as this sustainable solution, tying it into Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, which is interesting.
Okay.
So the goal here is to get a handle on how this tech works, what it actually does for indoor air quality, for energy use, and, why it's maybe a smarter way to tackle a pretty common but often overlooked problem. We're talking dust, allergens, maybe even mold hiding in there.
Right, the unseen stuff. And yeah, the source material, this presentation script, it definitely makes a case for why this approach is needed.
Okay, so let's get into it. One of the first things that jumped out at me was this term sick building syndrome. Sounds kind of serious.
It does, yeah. But the symptoms they list are actually quite common things people might experience.
Like what?
Well, things like headaches, maybe a persistent dry cough, itchy eyes, allergies acting up when you're inside, feeling unusually tired, sometimes even triggering asthma. And interestingly, they also mention difficulty concentrating or a drop in creativity.
Wow. Okay, so things you might just brush off as, having a bad day or allergies playing up.
Exactly. But the presentation really links these directly to the air being circulated by the building's HVAC system.
So the ducts themselves could be the problem.
That's the argument. Over time, the air carries dust, pollen, bits of debris, and it all settles inside the ductwork. It's hidden, out of sight.
Right, out of sight, out of mind. You don't see dust building up deep inside those metal tubes.
Precisely.
Yeah.
But it's there, and the system just keeps pushing air over and through it. So if you notice your allergies are worse indoors, or you get those unexplained headaches at work, this could be a contributing factor, according to the material.
Which leads us to the solution they're proposing, robotic duct cleaning.
Yeah, and this is where it gets pretty techy. Traditional methods, well, they can be disruptive, and sometimes they just can't physically reach everywhere in a complex duct system.
So the robots, they can go deeper.
That's the idea. The key phrase they use is, go where humans can't. Think small, remotely operated vehicles.
Okay.
They navigate inside the ducts. The script paints this picture of a journey inside, uncovering hidden dust, maybe mold growth, bacteria, even grease in some systems.
It's not a pleasant image, is it? All that stuff lurking just above your head, potentially.
Not really. And it's not just gross, it actively harms air quality and makes the HVAC system less efficient. These robots, they usually have brushes, powerful vacuums, sometimes even things like UVC lights for disinfection. They can get right in there and clean specific areas very precisely. And, importantly, often without making a huge mess or disrupting everything.
Right, the zero disruption point, that seems like a big deal, especially compared to older methods. So what are the main takeaways, the core benefits they're highlighting?
Well, number one is obviously better indoor air quality, removing all those contaminants.
That's sense.
Then there's improved energy efficiency. Cleaner ducts mean air flows more easily.
Ah, okay, so the system doesn't have to work as hard.
Exactly. When ducts are clogged up, the fans strain, using more power. Cleaning them can actually lead to noticeable energy savings. The presentation probably had some figures on that, like average percentage savings. Even a range would make it clearer than just improved efficiency.
So potentially lower energy bills too? Health benefits and economic ones?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, the direct elimination of those harmful things, mold, bacteria, allergens, plus, as you mentioned, doing it without the mess.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories about traditional duct cleaning, like dust everywhere, cutting into walls. This sounds much cleaner.
It aims to be much less invasive, definitely. Especially important